it looks at the packet and goes, okay, this was sent to me, but I'm not the ultimate destination. So what it does is it rips off all of the MAC address information and re-encapsulates it with MAC address information for out in the cloud. And it all keeps the IP information on it. So then it can send the information across the internet that way. Now, some of the examples of different protocols in the OSI model, we have like HTTP, NTP, RDP. Everybody knows what HTTP is, right? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Well, that's actually down in the presentation. But Network Transfer Protocol, Remote Desktop Protocol. Down here in the presentation layer, we have things like Telnet, HTTP, HTML, JPEG, and it's also where some encryption happens, generic encryption happens on this presentation layer. That's kind of an important thing to remember is encryption here. When we then go down to the session layer, the session layer is responsible for opening and closing communications with different systems. You know, when you're going to talk to another computer, it's what responsible for going out and going, hey, let's organize a session between my computer and a web server. And you can have multiple sessions going on, and this is the piece that keeps all of those sessions separate. Then we have the transport layer, which again is TCP or UDP. The only difference really between these two guys, in a nutshell, is this is a send and forget it protocol, and this protocol guarantees delivery. So if the receiving computer doesn't get information that's sent via TCP, that information gets resent. With UDP, the information doesn't get resent. The network layer. This is responsible for addressing. This is, you'll hear a lot of times people talk about layer 3 devices. This is the third layer. So, this is where our routing happens. Layer 3 devices. Then we go down and we have the MAC addresses, which these are the burned-in addresses for like every network card or any device that goes on the network has a burned-in MAC address. It's a physical address that you can't change. They are statistically unique. No two devices on any local area network should have the same MAC address, just via probability. The manufacturer of every device burns these into every device that they put out. First half of a MAC address will be who actually made the MAC, who made that device, and the second half will be a statistically unique address for that device. Physical layer. Down here, this is where you actually have cabling and devices like hubs. Hubs, they don't look at MAC addresses. All they do is receive a signal and transmit it back out. So you have devices like hubs down on physical and switches up on data link layer, because switches look at MAC addresses and figure out, okay, I need to send it out a specific port on the switch, whereas with the hub, it doesn't care. It just shoots the information back out every port that it has, except for the one that it received the information on. And you have some different physical layer protocols Like a modem would be considered a physical layer protocol, hubs, cabling. Then you have some Ethernet standards that exist on the physical layer, like 10 base T, 10 base 2, 100 base T. All of those different types of speeds are considered a physical layer protocol or a physical layer standard. Sonnet rings, FIDI, ISDN, that would all be done with the physical layer. Now, all of this stuff in the OSI model can be pretty much just brought over and applied to TCP/IP, where we have the application, presentation, and session layer. That all gets bundled together and is considered in the application layer of the TCP/IP model. We have transport. Hey, that one's pretty easy. Goes back over, and it's transport layer. Network layer is the internet layer, which is where IP addressing exists, and then data link and physical translate over to network access, which can be broken down a little bit further into link layer and physical, which directly correspond to these guys over here. Now, you will want to learn in your life the different layers of the OSI model. Everybody has some type of gimmick to remember these. The one that I remembered was, please don't throw please do not. Can't even remember my own memory notes, can I? Please do not throw sausage, pizza away. So, one of the things that you ever do go, well, when you do go in and take a exam, when it starts, you're then allowed to write down, anything you can immediately dump from your memory onto a piece of board that you have a dry erase marker. This is one of the things that a lot of people dump when they do that, is please do not throw sausage pizza away. So now you don't have to worry about remembering for the rest of the test. You dumped it. There you go. You can remember your physical, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, and application. And let's see. And I was wrong here when I told you HTTP is a presentation layer. That's not. HTML is the presentation layer, and HTTP is the application layer protocol. See, even after prepping for this, I get confused. So it can be very confusing. JPEG, good thing to remember on presentation layer, telnet, encryption. Really, that is the OSI model in a nutshell.